It's a lonely experience, actually. You're suddenly being told this major piece of news. Here you are, you have a disease which will probably shorten your life and may rob you of your faculties, but we can't tell you what's going to happen. Nobody can say, in a year's time this will happen, or in 6 months' time this will happen, or it won't. And that's very odd, trying to come to terms with that uncertainty. And you know, the best way is just put it in a box and get on and live your life as well as you can. But that's tough, that's difficult. My name's Willy Gilder, I'm age 71. I live in Edinburgh. I'm not from Edinburgh originally. Just over 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with a form of Alzheimer's disease. I used to be a journalist. When I was a journalist, I used social media a lot. I was on Twitter talking about, well, I've gone off for a brain scan, and these are the results. And I was astonished by the response I got. The number of people saying, gosh, this is really interesting, we've never heard of anybody talking about this before, tell us more. So I was quite open and honest and open and frank about my own diagnosis. When I was diagnosed, I heard the words Alzheimer's disease, and that was kind of big and scary and terrifying. And immediately, there wasn't support really. It was kind of, well, you've got this, cheerio. Oh, and by the way, don't drive. I think I pretty much had to find support off my own bat. So what got me into campaigning was a feeling that we were being treated as people with brain diseases as having a second-class disease, and I wanted to try and change people's ideas about dementia. When I was told I had Alzheimer's disease, I immediately thought, gosh, I'm going to lose all my memories. I now know that there are forms of Alzheimer's disease that don't affect memory. Don't think most people understand that. The disease has affected them in different kind of ways, and I wish I'd known more about that, actually. I feel I've had to do an awful lot of finding out about that for myself. And I think maybe too much is put on the shoulders of people with diagnosis at the moment to find things out for themselves.
We decided to nominate Willy because he's campaigned ceaselessly to raise awareness of dementia and some of the challenges that people living with dementia face in everyday life. He is an active member of the Scottish Government's Lived Experience panel and was heavily involved in the development of the Scottish Government's National Dementia Strategy and more recently the Scottish Government's Rethink Dementia campaign.
I've been involved with groups talking about how there needs to be an anti-stigma campaign and how we want this campaign to talk about the positive things that people do.
He has all his experiences that he's willing to communicate with the rest of us. That's good of him. He doesn't have to, well, to not exposing himself, but he's happy to discuss anything that has happened to him.
He's a big traveller and has moved about in terms of getting the message out there and the support. He's a willing speaker and through his art as well. He can convey the message in visual form that very often speech doesn't portray with the same impact. I mean, he has fantastic qualities for being an ambassador for dementia.
I think the important thing is not to think of people with dementia as others. They're people who should be included.
When you get a diagnosis, you meet and you look for people who are leaders and can provide you with positive aspects of what is a dreadful diagnosis to receive. And Willy, for me, was definitely, okay, you can live well and you can do things, you can achieve. Your life isn't over.
I get a bit embarrassed by being seen as a campaigner. but I suppose I am. I mean, it's very nice to be singled out and given a pat on the back. And it does make me feel that those tweets were worth it.